Vocabulary. Getting from passive to active, part 2. So, we heard in part 1 that you have to meet the new words a number of times before you can really use them. In other words, before they become part of your active rather than passive vocabulary. One of the first things you can do is make word clusters and not rely on learning individual words. When you learn a new word, also learn all the word forms. In this way, when you learn a noun, you also learn the adjective, verb, and adverb forms. When you meet the adjective form of the word, you do not see it as an entirely new word, but as one you already know. When you learn a word in context, learn the synonyms and the antonyms that go with that word. If you learn just one synonym and one antonym, you have learned 3 new words, not just one. Maybe you know a word, but when you meet it, it is in a new context. It has a different meaning. In a way, this is the new word as well. Learn the new definition and the key words that go with the new word. As you learn new words, learn the grammar as well, and then pay attention when you read or you see that word. Word forms will help you use the words correctly in speaking and writing. When you learn a new verb, check to see if a noun or a phrase comes after the verb. If it is a noun, then that is a direct object. That means the verb is a transitive verb. In a dictionary, it is usually marked as VT. A transitive verb can be used in the passive voice. If a verb is followed by a phrase, like a prepositional phrase, or by an adverb, but not by a noun, then it is an intransitive verb. It cannot be used in the passive. For nouns, check when you read or hear them. If a noun is plural, then it is a count noun. You can count them. 3 books. If the noun does not have an S and refers to something like an idea, a feeling, or an amount that you cannot count, then it may be a non-count noun. Noticing these types of things will help you use the new words more accurately. Let's look at some examples for transitive and intransitive verbs. Compose is a transitive verb. Look at the first sentence. The House and Senate composed the Congress. The verb composed is followed by a noun, Congress. It is a transitive verb. It can be used in the passive. The Congress is composed of the House and the Senate. So here you have 2 ways to say the same thing with the verb compose. Now look at the verb consist. It is an intransitive verb. Look at the sentence. The Congress consists of the House and the Senate. It is followed by a prepositional phrase, of the House. It cannot be passive. This sentence is the only way to say this meaning with the verb consist. Let's look at some examples for count and non-count nouns. Look at the sentence. Please give him all of the money. Be sure to count all of the coins accurately. Money is non-count. You do not have an S on it. Coins is a count noun. It ends in S. Sometimes, in special circumstances, a non-count noun is also used as a count noun. When talking about economies and government budget, you might hear someone say, The monies for the project have not come in yet from the sponsors. This means that there might be different sources of funding, monies. You will learn how these words are used in your field, and you should use them accordingly in your professional work. Remember, context tells you what to do. Look at the chart. Some of these words you have seen before and some you have not. Let's look at them more closely. Connotations are the feelings that the word give you. Positive, negative, neutral. Register. You have not heard this word before, but it means the level at which you are using the word. It might be words or terms you use in your professional life. These words might be more formal or more informal. Formal ones you might use in a speech or a presentation. Informal ones you might use in individual or small group conversations or discussions. Colloquial means the speech you use in your everyday life. Slang is very informal language, usually used by a particular group, like teenagers. Knowing the right level of vocabulary is important. Too formal, and people may think you are arrogant or unapproachable. Too informal, and people may think that you are not well informed or you're not serious. Last, remember collocations. These word partners go with the new words you learn. They also depend on the context, keywords, and topic. Pronunciation. Sometimes you learn a new word through reading. You never hear the pronunciation, and all of a sudden you have to use it. What do? Well, use a dictionary. Paper dictionaries will give you a guide to help. Online dictionaries will actually pronounce the word for you. You can also listen to how your colleagues use the words and ask a person for help. As you continue to build your vocabulary, both passive and active, remember to experience the new words as much as you can. Read, listen, not just for your profession, but also for pleasure. I learned a lot of German vocabulary in high school by reading mysteries and watching German detective TV shows. Explore. You need to know more about a word. Look at a dictionary or a grammar book. Ask someone. Practice. Practice speaking and writing in English as much as you can. It might not be comfortable at first, but practice. Remember, practice makes perfect.